Danielle sat in her car outside Gabriel's house, staring at the door. She had promised herself she wouldn't get too close, wouldn't let her emotions cloud her judgment, but here she was, unable to resist the need for answers. Taking a deep breath, she stepped out of the car and knocked on the door. Gabriel opened it almost immediately, as if he had been waiting for her. A smile spread across his face. "You came," he said softly. Danielle folded her arms. "I have more questions." Gabriel nodded and stepped aside, letting her in. The house was quiet, too quiet. Danielle glanced around. The place looked expensive, but there was a strange emptiness to it. No family pictures, no warmth. "Where's your wife?" she asked, sitting on the couch. Gabriel tensed for a moment before forcing a smile. "She's out." Danielle studied him. Something wasn't right, but she couldn't put her finger on it. Gabriel sat across from her. "What do you want to know?" Danielle hesitated before speaking. "Why now? Why, after all these years, do you suddenly care?" Gabriel sighed. "Because I've lost too much already. My wife and I, we tried to have a child for years, and now the doctor says I can't. I thought I had all the time in the world, but life humbled me." Danielle's expression remained unreadable. "And what do you expect from me? From us?" Gabriel leaned forward. "I just want to be part of your lives, even if it's just a small part." Danielle looked away. "I don't know if I can trust you." Gabriel's face fell. "I understand, but I'll do whatever it takes to prove myself." Danielle exhaled. "We'll see." She stood up, and Gabriel didn't stop her as she walked to the door, but just before she left, she turned to him. "One more thing," she said. "My mother doesn't trust you, and neither does David, so if you're lying to me, if you have any ulterior motives." Gabriel raised a hand. "I swear, Danielle, my intentions are pure." Danielle nodded slowly before walking out. But deep down, something still didn't feel right. That night, Danielle returned home to find Lucy waiting in the living room. "You were with him," Lucy said quietly. Danielle sighed. "Mom," Lucy raised a hand. "Don't lie to me." Danielle hesitated before nodding. "I was." Lucy closed her eyes briefly. "I won't stop you, Danielle, but I will warn you, Gabriel is not a good man." Danielle frowned. "People change, Mom." Lucy's eyes darkened. "Not always." Danielle sat beside her. "Why do you hate him so much?" Lucy let out a shaky breath. "Because he didn't just abandon me, Danielle. He destroyed me. He left me to die on the streets. And now, after all these years, when he has nothing left, he suddenly wants to be in your lives? Doesn't that sound convenient to you?" Danielle bit her lip. "I don't know, Mom. I feel like I need to find out for myself." Lucy nodded stiffly. "Then do what you must. But when it all falls apart, don't say I didn't warn you." Danielle swallowed hard. She had never seen her mother this vulnerable before. But she had made her choice, and there was no turning back now. Danielle sat in her room, scrolling through old photos on her phone. Pictures of her mother, her brothers, Abigail, her real family. She wasn't sure why she was suddenly feeling guilty. Was it because of the way her mother looked at her? Or because David hadn't spoken a word to her since she admitted she was still seeing Gabriel? A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. "Come in," she said, expecting her mother. Instead, David stepped in, his arms crossed. "We need to talk." Danielle sighed. "If this is about Gabriel—" "It is," David cut in, "and you're being played." Danielle frowned. "You don't even know him." David's expression darkened. "And you do?" She hesitated. "I'm trying to." David scoffed. "Danielle, wake up. This man suddenly cares now that we're rich? Where was he when we were sleeping on the streets? Where was he when Mom almost died giving birth to us?" Danielle clenched her fists. "People change, David." David shook his head. "No, they don't. Not like this." Danielle swallowed hard. "What if you're wrong?" David stared at her, his voice low and firm. "And what if I'm right?" Danielle said nothing. David sighed and stepped closer. "Look, you want to find out for yourself? Fine, but at least be smart about it. Don't trust him blindly." Danielle bit her lip, then nodded. "Okay," David exhaled. "Good, because I did some digging." Danielle's eyes narrowed. "What?" David pulled out his phone and handed it to her. "Take a look." Danielle scrolled through the screen, her heart pounding as she read the reports. Gabriel was in debt. Heavy debt. He had lost his business, his house was mortgaged, and he was on the verge of bankruptcy. Danielle's stomach twisted. David's voice was cold. "Still think he came back out of love?" Danielle felt sick. Gabriel had played her, and she had walked straight into his trap. Meanwhile, Gabriel sat in his dimly lit office gripping his whiskey glass. His phone buzzed. It was his lawyer. "What's the update?" he asked. The lawyer hesitated. "Gabriel, if you don't clear your debts soon, the bank will seize your house." Gabriel cursed under his breath. "How long do I have?" "A month, maybe less." Gabriel slammed his glass down. "I need more time." The lawyer sighed. "Then I suggest you find another source of income. Fast." Gabriel exhaled sharply. There was only one way out of this, and her name was Danielle. Danielle gripped David's phone so tightly that her knuckles turned white. The betrayal burned deep, leaving a bitter taste in her mouth. She had been stupid, so desperate to believe in redemption that she let herself be fooled. David watched her carefully. "What do you want to do now?" Danielle inhaled sharply, her eyes darkening with resolve. "I want to make him regret ever thinking he could use me." David smirked. "That's what I was hoping to hear." Danielle looked down at the phone again. Gabriel was drowning in debt, and she was his lifeline. He thought he had her wrapped around his finger, but now the game had changed. It was time for her to play him instead. The next morning, Danielle called Gabriel. "Hey," she said softly, making her voice sound hesitant. Gabriel's voice immediately lit up. "Danielle, I was just thinking about you." She forced a small laugh. "Really?" "Of course. I've been meaning to ask if we could spend more time together. Get to know each other better." Danielle hesitated, pretending to be nervous. "I'd like that, but I also want to do something for you." Gabriel's breathing quickened. "What do you mean?" Danielle exhaled shakily. "I know you've been struggling, and I want to help." Silence. "Then, you don't have to do that, Danielle." She could practically hear the greed in his voice, masked under fake humility. "I want to," she insisted. "Let's meet tonight. I have a surprise for you," Gabriel chuckled. "You're really an angel, you know that?" Danielle smirked. "You have no idea." That evening, Gabriel arrived at an upscale restaurant Danielle had chosen. He walked in, adjusting his blazer, confidence oozing from him. Danielle was already seated at a private table, dressed in an elegant black gown. When Gabriel saw her, his eyes gleamed with admiration. "Wow," he murmured, pulling out a chair. "You look breathtaking." Danielle smiled. "I wanted to make this night special." A waiter arrived with a bottle of expensive champagne, pouring them each a glass. Gabriel raised his glass. "To new beginnings." Danielle clinked her glass against his. "To trust." As Gabriel sipped, Danielle leaned forward. "I did something today," she whispered. Gabriel set his glass down. "What's that?" Danielle hesitated, biting her lip. "I spoke to my mother." Gabriel stiffened. "Oh, she wasn't happy," Danielle admitted. "She still hates you, but I told her I wanted to make my own decisions." Gabriel's shoulders relaxed. "And what decision have you made?" Danielle smiled sweetly. "I want to help you, Gabriel. I know things haven't been easy for you, and I want to fix that." Gabriel's eyes darkened with hunger. "Danielle, I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything," she interrupted, reaching into her purse. She pulled out an envelope and slid it across the table. Gabriel picked it up, his hands trembling slightly as he opened it. Inside was a check for 1,000,000 naira. Gabriel's breath hitched. "Danielle?" Danielle tilted her head. "Is that enough?" Gabriel swallowed hard. "This is more than enough. I can't thank you enough." Danielle smirked. "Oh, don't worry. You'll pay me back eventually." Gabriel blinked. "What do you mean?" Danielle leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. "You see, Gabriel, I know everything." Gabriel froze. Danielle's smile turned cold. "I know about your debts. I know about your business failures. I know that you didn't come back because you love me. You came back because you were desperate." Gabriel's face drained of color. "Danielle, Shh," she whispered, her eyes gleaming with amusement. "Did you really think I was that naive?" Gabriel's jaw clenched. "This isn't what you think?" "Oh, it's exactly what I think," she cut in. "And you know what? I don't even care. I'm giving you this money, but in return," she leaned even closer, her voice like venom, "you will never contact me or my family again?" Gabriel's hands tightened into fists. "Danielle, if you do," she continued, her tone dangerously soft, "I will ruin you. I will make sure every bank, every investor, every business partner knows exactly who you are. A liar, a manipulator, and a man who abandoned his own children." Gabriel's face twisted in anger. "You think you can threaten me?" Danielle smiled. "I don't need to threaten. I'm simply making an offer. Take the money, disappear, and don't ever think about us again." Gabriel's eyes burned with rage, but he knew he had lost. Slowly, he picked up the check, his lips pressed into a thin line. Danielle leaned back, sipping her champagne. "Goodbye, Gabriel." Gabriel stood abruptly, stuffing the check into his pocket before storming out. Danielle exhaled, a victorious smirk playing on her lips. Game over. Lucy sat in her luxurious living room, staring blankly at the city lights outside. She had just gotten off the phone with Danielle, who told her everything. Gabriel had been silenced. A part of her should have felt relieved, but instead her heart was heavy. "Are you okay, Mom?" Lucy turned to see her eldest son, Daniel, standing by the doorway, concern etched on his face. She forced a smile. "I'm fine, my dear." Daniel frowned. "No, you're not. What's wrong?" Lucy sighed. "It's Gabriel." Daniel's expression darkened. "What about him?" Lucy hesitated. "Danielle handled him." Daniel's eyes widened. "What does that mean?" "She made sure he won't bother us again." Daniel exhaled sharply and sat beside her. "Good. He doesn't deserve a second chance, Mom, after everything he did to you." Lucy shook her head. "I know, but," she hesitated, "I can't pretend it doesn't hurt." Daniel studied her carefully. "Mom, do you still have feelings for him?" Lucy let out a bitter laugh. "Feelings? No. I stopped loving Gabriel the moment he abandoned me. But do I still feel something? Maybe." Daniel reached for her hand. "You don't owe him anything, Mom. He made his choice, and now he's paying for it." Lucy nodded slowly. "I know, but I need to face him one last time." The next afternoon, Lucy drove to the address Danielle had given her, Gabriel's rented apartment, a far cry from the lavish life he once lived. She knocked. A few moments later, the door opened, and there stood Gabriel. He looked defeated, his once proud shoulders slumped, his clothes wrinkled, and his eyes hollow. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Gabriel exhaled. "Lucy." Lucy stepped inside without invitation. "I came to see you." Gabriel closed the door behind her. "I'm surprised." Lucy folded her arms. "I needed to say something to you face to face." Gabriel nodded. "I know. Go ahead." Lucy took a deep breath. "I don't hate you, Gabriel." Gabriel's lips parted in shock. "You don't?" She shook her head. "I did for years, but I realized that hating you only kept me tied to the pain. I've moved on. I forgave my parents, I forgave myself, and now I'm forgiving you." Gabriel's throat bobbed. "Lucy, But Lucy interrupted, her voice firm. "Forgiving you doesn't mean I want you in my life, or my children's." Gabriel swallowed. "I understand," Lucy nodded. "Good, because this is the last time we'll ever see each other." Gabriel's face crumbled. "Lucy, please, no," she said softly but firmly. "This is where it ends." Gabriel clenched his fists. I just wanted to make things right." Lucy gave him a sad smile. "Some things can't be fixed." Gabriel's shoulders shook. "I lost everything, Lucy. My business, my home, my family. You lost them because of your own choices," she reminded him. "We all live with our decisions, Gabriel. This is yours." Gabriel ran a hand down his face, frustration mixed with regret. "Do you think karma is real?" Lucy tilted her head. "You tell me." Gabriel let out a shaky breath. "I had the perfect family once, and I threw it away." Lucy nodded. "Yes, you did." Silence filled the room. Then Lucy turned to leave. Gabriel took a step forward. "Lucy?" She paused at the door but didn't turn around. "Goodbye, Gabriel." And with that, she walked away. Back home, Lucy sat on the balcony, breathing in the evening air. She was free. Truly free. For the first time in years, she felt no anger, no bitterness. Her phone buzzed. It was Abigail. Lucy smiled and answered. "Lucy, I just saw the news. You're being awarded Woman of the Year next month. Congratulations." Lucy's eyes widened. "What?" Abigail laughed. "Yes, the foundation wants to honor you for your resilience, your success, and your impact on young girls. This is huge." Lucy blinked back tears. "Wow, I don't even know what to say," Abigail chuckled. "Say yes and start preparing your speech," Lucy laughed. "I will." As she hung up, she stared at the city before her, her heart full. She had survived. She had thrived. And this was only the beginning.